Hello to everyone watching the replay. I'm going to be working on a Khoi Pham Punisher that I think he just posted today. But I don't know when this video is going to be going live, so maybe it'll take me a month to get this up, who knows. I am working in Fresco, which is currently my favorite program to work in, and I am setting up my layers. And the standard way that I set up my layers. Let me see if I crash this thing. Can I type? No, I can't. Let me see. This will be my inking layer. Oh, because they're not pixel layers yet. Can I name them stuff? No. I wonder why not. That's weird. So I use 3 different layers in every project. I use an inking layer that I set as my reference. I use a fill layer that I set to 50% opacity, and then I use a hatch layer I set to 90% opacity. And then the group that I have them in, I set them to, I'll set it to 90% opacity. For today's brush, I'm going to be using my standard brush, but I'm going to make a note of my settings just so that I'll know to be able to use it later. Typically I write that on my layer, and you might have seen that. Whoops. It's a 15 pixel, which is the max. Smoothing is at 50%, I think, which is a little smooth for me. And then pressure sensitivity minimum diameter is at 35%. Min 35%. So I'm not going to be able to go super thin to thick, but I can still get some variation. All right, so now we are ready to start. Now the reason I selected this one is because I like how much black there is. My last Khoi Pham I really liked how much black I ended up having on it. So I decided when I saw this come up and I saw just how much black was on it, I was like, yeah, I gotta try that. Now this is a Punisher, so I'm gonna black out all the black areas, but the white areas I'm gonna shade in blue. Although that probably won't be for a while. Now, I don't really need to worry about my lines and all of these black areas. It's really just for the areas that are going to be white, where you'll actually be able to see the lines. You might also notice that I'm not zooming all the way in. I found that I've been having problems when I zoom too far in. I lose track of what volume I'm inking. So I'm staying out to make it a bit more like pencils. I know some people use Clip Studio Paint. Some people use Photoshop. One of the things I like about Fresco is this feature, kind of like Procreate, where if you hold your line down for a while, it'll turn it into a straight line. I know a lot of people use Procreate. I do not. I actually started using Fresco because of its vector features, but after getting to use or used to using its interface, I started to use it for pixel art as well. Oops. Let's see, so all of this toning right here, these are Khoi Pham's pencils. I'm not going to push that. I don't know if you guys know, but pulling lines is always better than pushing them. So let's rotate it around so I can pull this. I don't know how much you know about Khoi Pham, but he doesn't seem to ink. He seems to finish his stuff more like painting it. So these tones down here, he would paint. He wouldn't hatch them. And I too would not hatch them. I'm probably just going to fill them with a light blue color. I know that's a Miss Pencil line, but I like it. How's everybody doing tonight? If you're watching this, you're probably in California, because it is hella late on the East Coast. I don't know why I don't start these projects earlier in the evening. But I mean, if life made sense, would it be as fun? All right, let's see how I'm doing. Don't have any enclosed shapes yet. I'm using my inking layer as a reference layer. So as soon as I have some enclosed shapes, I can start filling them in. What the hell are you? Oh, you are pouches. This is what I'm talking about making sure that you don't zoom in too far. See, Khoi, or the original artist, when he's drawing this, he knows he's drawing pouches. But I mean, it's not clear to me that those are pouches. I had to actually learn that they were pouches. And sometimes it just so happens that you don't learn what you're drawing. You're just kind of tracing. Like Jason Lee in Chasing Amy. Now, question. Hey, Carson. Your art reminds me of Mike Zeck's Punisher art. This is not my art, man. I am a tracer. This is Khoi Pham's art. See, it says it up here. Khoi Pham. Yo, guys, I can't draw. Whoops, too far in. I am legitimately not a good artist. I have some of my original stuff kind of on my feed, and you can tell it's quite a few steps back from the stuff that I ink, especially compared to someone like Ed Bennis. I'm nowhere near that. But I can trace. And I understand volumes. I think that's it. There's a few things that you need in order to be a good penciler. Anatomy, proportion, perspective, and dynamic posing. And I looked at how much time it would take to learn all of that stuff, and I was like, hey, I'm a pretty good inker. Do I need to know all that stuff to be a good inker? And the answer was no. No, all you need to do, or to know to be a good inker, is you need to know lighting volumes. You need to know how lighting defines volumes. So that's all I do. I learned how lighting defines volumes. And then you need to know your tools, your software tools. Punisher comic recommendations. You know what? Honestly, my favorite Punisher comic was the miniseries. The original miniseries that says 4-issue miniseries on the cover, but then ends up being 5 issues. I know that's going way back. What's your favorite Punisher series? All right, now we've got an enclosed shape. Wacha. Is Punisher Max any good? I have no idea. Anybody have any comments on Punisher Max? Oh, this one's enclosed too. Hell yes. Now you may notice that I have the fill layer set to 50% opacity. And that is so that two things. One, if I go like this, it makes it hard to figure out where to put my white cut lines. And number two, if I go like this, I can easily see, oh, I'm inking on the wrong layer. Can't have that. All right, what are we doing? Now, you ask, what's so bad about inking on the wrong layer? Well, I did like a Battle Chasers thing a few months ago that you might see on my feed. And in that inking project, I got completely lost as to what volumes I was actually inking. I ended up just inking black, the original artist's black shapes. But I had no idea what the actual volumes were that I was inking. And I realized that I needed a system to be able to separate the boundaries of the volumes. Ever thought of being a comic inker? I am a comic inker. So for example, this guy right here. Right? Now, here we have a shadow. It's across like this. And then we've got like, I don't know, temporary border like that. Then we got more stuff down here. What I realized is if I black this all out, completely black, then say if I blacked out this too. Oops. I black both of them out, then I lose the ability to remember where that line is that separates the two shapes. So that's why I started blacking out at 50%. All right, let's see. I gotta close this so I can fill it. There we go. Oops. Gee. Is that what passes for hatching these days? All right, let's see, where are we? Is that an enclosed shape? No. I got some boundary right here. Am I inking on the right layer? All right, I think that's enclosed now. Let's find out. It's like, look at this line right here. If I blacked this all out, I'd lose that line. Did not work. There's a hole somewhere. And then I couldn't put a highlight on it later if it was completely blacked out. Nope, didn't find all the holes. So now we got to go around the boundary and try to close all the holes. Have I ever talked to any pencilers? I have. They send me angry messages. They say things like, now that you inked it, I can't. Which I don't really get. Like, you want to ink something, ink it, you know? All right, did I close all the holes? Close. I might have the fill sensitivity up too high. All right, let's see how we do. Nope, still got some holes in it. See if we can find where it is. The hand, eh? The hand is not separated. This hand. I don't know. Let me check it for holes. There's no hole there. So then how is the glove being filled up if there's no hole here? Somehow I don't think Walden Wong has this issue when he's using a brush. All right, let's try that again. What official have I ever worked on? That's a very good question. Absolutely nothing. What the hell? All right, so if you ever find yourself in this situation, pretty much the only thing you can do is just try to double up your line on the inside. Why am I down to 5? Oh, that's the vector line. All right, so here we go. That fill ain't getting through this line. Whoops. I actually only started inking in September. I did a John Buscema Tarzan piece really, really fast. And I was like, I think I can make a go of this. So the next thing that I worked on was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing. All right. And I had no idea what I was doing. If you look really closely at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing, you'll actually see that there's a bunch of different styles. I used my original style there, which hews pretty close to like the classic Barry Windsor Smith Image Comics style cross-hatching. Whoops. Which I actually got from Mark Silvestri. I wasn't really a fan of Barry Windsor Smith when I was a kid. Or when I was younger. All right, so where is this hole? By the way, to anyone joining in, I'm trying to find a hole in my outline so that I can fill this all at once. I saw a rhino done by Chaku. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chaku. Chokoo. There's the hole. Right there. Found it. Anyways, he did a rhino piece where he actually did all of his blacks in pencil. It was a lot. Still not. Dang it. All right. Well, what's left? So what are you guys reading these days? I will tell you what I am reading. I actually got it from the library. I got a 50-issue compendium of Spawn. I never really followed the Spawn comics when they came out, so it's been a bit of a ride. All right. Now, fresco. Are you going to, whoops, too much. You gonna let me fill this in now? Did I outline the whole thing? Close to it. Why are you not drawing anything anymore? Cock your money up. All right, so now I have doubled up all the line, so it better be able to fill now. There we go. All right. Okay. I think that chroma guy left as soon as I said I hadn't worked on anything official. All right, so now we got to get back to 15 pixel. All right, there we go. All right, look at this face. What are we doing? I am going to black all of you out. Don't you wait, or don't you worry. I have no idea what this guy's trying to do with the ear. Let's see, what are we looking at? There's this part. There's the part that comes down. I guess this is all shadow in here. Let me talk to you, Mom. Hey, Mom. I have headphones in, and I am listening to Bon Iver. Not sure what you guys are listening to these days. Okay, the How to Draw the Marvel Way says, do your entire eyelash as one big shape. So that's what we got right there. Dude, what's going on with your eyelash? Looks like he's wearing makeup. Sorry, Frank. All right, now for hatching, I like to do it on its own layer so I can, whoops, delete it easier and start from scratch if I need to. That's another thing that I learned on the, oh, you know what? I shouldn't be bending these lines. I should do some that way and some that way. Let's emphasize this. Oh, this is on the hatch layer. I want that on the ink layer. Keep your hatches on a separate layer, because look at this. You can go oh, I don't like that. And then you go, see you later. See? And you're not losing your inks. Now the question may come up, how do you decide what the hatching is going to look like? And the answer is, I have no idea. Talk to me. I can teach you how to hatch volumes, though. Oh, that should not be on the hatch layer. If you're doing outlines, they have to be on your ink layer. Because otherwise, when you try to fill, you won't be able to find out why your volume is open. One of the only shitty things about doing digital is that you always have to go thin to thick, which sucks. When I ink by myself, I much prefer to go thick to thin, like this. You can't get good lines doing that on digital. They're garbage. You gotta start thin. Go out. It gives you more of like a traditional Jack Kirby kind of look. All right, I think we're ready to fill the hair. Yep, got it. Let's see how we did. Oh, a little sketchy. We can clean it up. A little dynamic, not too bad. Yikes, look at this bullshit. That's a lot. All right. I guess we keep going, eh? Oh, is this supposed to be PG rated? All right. So I've decided that this area is going to be shaded in blue on white. So I got to limit my lines in these areas. I'm going to drop those to 10 for the hatches. It reminds me of using my, what is it? I don't know, like a 0.1 fine liner. How they you guys know the rules about hatching? It's gradients for core shadows, solids for cast shadows. I don't know if that's supposed to be an ink line, but whatever. It'll help to inform. Okay, so let's fill this stuff out. Now usually I use a much thicker line. It gives you more of a Jack Kirby look. I'm trying to be more professional. Ryan Benjamin says I need to learn how to use thin lines to be more professional. What do you think? Should we fill in the end of those? I will say I need to see what I'm working on a bit better. These don't really look like bullets to me. Maybe if you zoom out. Oh, I'm at 61. I don't want to be at 61. All right, so now we've got some clear indications here. This right here, that's a rollover. So that gets hatched. This is a cast shadow. So that'll be solid. This is what I'm thinking about when I'm doing this. So this is the actual volume. Like that. Then this is the core shadow right there. And these are, whoops. These are contour lines to show the rollover. And then this part right here, so this is the volume, the edge of the volume. And this is the cast shadow right here, which is solid. And this is the game. And I put this on the wrong layer, so how am I going to erase it? I guess I gotta do it like that. Sorry, that's the boundary of the volume. Which I really only need, oh my goodness, rookie error. My color margin is too low. Whoops. Adjust my color margin. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do a stroke over the fill when I'm done. Which kind of ruins things. All right, so what am I working on? I guess another pouch. much. I'm not used to thin line stuff. Everything I do is thick line these days. Is this supposed to be a shadow cast by the bullet? It's a little too close. Got an open wall. Where's the open wall? Oh, there it is. I see it. Oh, I got two. I got one right here. I got one right there. All right. Look how different everything looks when you zoom in. All right. So need to get back down to a zoom level in the 40s. Just stay consistent. Make sure the whole thing has the same vibe. Decided to give that one a bit more of a shadow because it's way at the back. Even though you're supposed to go thinner for the stuff in the back because of atmospheric distortion. What's that thing, eh? This is what I'm talking about when I say that you just tracing and not really understanding the volumes. What's this thing? I think his leg would probably come down like this. And then we have a bullet right here. Oh, that's a much better way to draw a bullet. Start with the end. Yeah, that looks much more like a bullet. All right. I don't need to connect on white areas. All right, let me see. So we have what looks like a core shadow over here, or maybe a cast shadow, I guess, based on the angle. Nope, that's not it. See, if I put a broken line right there, then it looks like a highlight. I can't have a broken line here or my fill won't work. All right, so let's fill, fill, and fill. And now we have no separation between that bullet tip. Watch what happens. No separation between the end of the bullet and the leg or the whatever this thing is. So that's why we will need these lines here to know where the highlights need to go. All right. So like this is a good area for a broken line. Start a little thick and then go light, because that's where the highlight would be. Does that look a little too cartoony? I know this one looks rounder than that one. It's a negative space thing. All right, let's see. So this is, I'm going to make this all shadow. It's far enough under the hand. Maybe I'll add some highlights to define it instead. I know I said you got to go thin to thick when you're doing digital, but I'm going to try. Is that rounding? Look at this. It's rounded. Got to make that straight. All right, so what's next? I see some really light indications of form in this area. It's like the worst hatching I've ever done in my life. All right, let's try this again. Drop the ink. Maybe increase the smoothing. And make it easier to go to a thinner diameter. So I'm dropping the diameter to 5. You guys probably can't see this. It's in these controls over here. See, minimum diameter, 5, smoothing, 90. So let's see that. Oh, that's nice. That is so nice. All right, here we go. All right, what am I trying to... You gotta make sure that the spacing is even. Look at how shitty this looks now. You had a little bit of good line work and then makes everything else look terrible. You know what will probably make it look better is if I zoom out. Now, people will say, how do you know what direction to do the lines in? And a few different ways. One is I'm following the guidance of the original penciler. Oh, I don't like that. Follow the guidance of the original penciler. And also, you're like... You're drawing them all on the plane. So you find a plane and you draw them on the plane. Well, let's do multiple planes. See? When you're drawing on a plane, they'll generally be evenly spaced. When you start varying their width, then you start, that's for like curves, like this, for example. See, now you're fading that direction. You're receding in that direction. And now I have a sphere. That's Mark Silvestri, Barry Windsor Smith style. All right, let me see. Let's get rid of this. Sorry. Erase. See ya. 1:30. Okay, so I'm doing a face. Nope, too close. Oh, those need to cross more. Don't ask me why. Just my brain says they need to cross more. Yeah. I can actually find it better from far away. Does that look too weird? Khoi Pham's going to be like, what are you doing with my pencils? But that's why our hatching is on a separate layer. See, when I'm in like this, I have no idea what I'm looking at. I know there's definitely something going on under this lip that needs our help to define. Maybe like that. I don't really know what's going on here. Some sort of shadow. They related to the ear. Frank probably doesn't need that on the front of his ear. Just want to imply it. There we go. All right, so what are we working on next? Probably need to get to the gun. Okay, so let's make a note of what we're doing on the hatch layer. Hatch. So we want 10px. $30 smoothing. No, it was like 90. 90 smooth. It's very hard to draw with 90 smoothing. And then min was 5, I think. I wonder why I changed min 5%. It's very hard to draw with that. So now I'm going to go back to this one. Smoothing is at 50%. And minimum is at, can't even read what my writing says. Let's say 35%. Whoops, wrong layer. There you go, 35%. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Let me see. No, not closed. Wrong layer. These are like the worst looking bullets ever. All right, so for these bullets, I'm going to do it the right way. Draw our ellipse at the end. Oh, that looks so much better. Now, how are we going to stylize our bullets? You know what? I think I might have to redraw most of the bullets this way. Nope. Gotta do it in one line because it's on the highlight side. You can double up on the shadow side. I'm gonna hatch them like this. Don't know. Might have to curve it like this. That does not look like a bullet. I'm sorry. So let's make it look like a bullet. Yeah, a bunch of these don't look like bullets. You wouldn't see that so much of the bottom at this angle. And we have some leeway because we're going to black it out anyways. That's better. Sorry, I think you need to be redrawn too. Kill your darlings, right? No. Oh, surgery time. Yikes. All right. What is this thing? Is that the Rattata? All right, what are we at? Are we at the gun now? Look at this. What is that thumb even doing? Oh no, more cylinders. Oh no. Okay, so I think I'm going to do an outline. Try to fill as much as possible. Okay, 35. So now I just gotta move that up to 15. All right. I'm gonna do the border here first. Is this all gonna be full shadow? That'll be hella black. Why am I erasing? This looks kind of like a loaf of bread to me. Now it looks to me like this is a cast shadow from the arm. So the question is it going to be pure black? No, it looks like it's going to be a mid-tone. And if these are mid-tones, then I need to clean this up. Like that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to hatch it. Okay. Oh, I don't want to go that far in. And look at this. This is the shadow of this piece. But if you looked at it, it looked like the full shadow ended here. Oops. Now, is this a hatch? Or is that a... Yeah, because it's a core shadow. This is going to be a cast shadow, though. It'll be pure black. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. Now, this is the kind of situation where I do a light line in order to apply a highlight on the corner. And then we thicken it up as we get down here. That needs to be thin, or else it'll look like it recedes in the wrong direction. I guess it curves, eh? This one should curve too. Reciprocity. See, like this. Look at this. Looks like a hatch boundary. We gotta leave it to be a hatch boundary. So we'll set it back. And then encourage it to be hatched. See, like, look, you got a shadow that goes across there, but clearly the volume does not go that way. It's a core shadow on a volume that actually taps out over here. What is this? How does this transition? See, there just isn't enough information. We gotta build the stuff on top first. And hope that that tells us what's underneath. Now this bar looks like garbage. So in this case, we wouldn't follow the pencils. We're gonna make our own. It flows like a real metal and connects like a real hand would. One, two, three, four. That's good to know that it's not an AI hand. So I guess that's the other side of the handle. Now this is a little dumb. I didn't continue it. There we go. Magnificent. Apply the highlight. Now this is backing onto a full black, so we can't apply a highlight on this side. Instead, we can black it out like that. Oops. But once it's into a white surrounding, then we can apply highlights. All right, is this enclosed? Looks enclosed. Wonderful. This is where we're at. Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. See the issue that we have right here though? There's no separation between the rib cage and the bicep. There's no separation between the forearm and the tricep. So we're gonna have to add those in white. Oof, I'm getting real hungry. Okay, so how does anything create a corner like that? Unless it was a sheet of paper or something. This looks like a hatch line. Is that a leg? Okay, so like what are we looking at right there? It's unclear. What's this line? Is it some sort of triangle shape? And then what's this? And this is the type of stuff that I don't know how to interpret it. These are speed holes. Now, is that supposed to be straight across, or is it supposed to curve up to imply 3 dimensions? I can't tell. Then this looks like the core shadow from the handle as it traces over the 3-dimensional shape. So I can understand that. This looks like some sort of front thing. I can understand that. This is probably a hatch line across here because it's a core shadow gradient side. That looks like a cast on that side part. I know what this is over here though. Implies a staggered machine. Can I fill it? No. See, when you zoom in, I have no idea what I'm looking at. Maybe our brain knows. Oh. I think that's all I can do for tonight, though. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. And you have yourself a great night. All right. Let's see what we've got. Now, I'm zoomed out. So when you're zoomed out, starting to wonder if these are supposed to connect together. I think I got the angle wrong on the line there. All right. So I think it's supposed to go like this. And then we'll do a Oh, that's not set as reference. We'll do like a hatching coming out of it. All right, so it's not clear. You can kind of see it better when you're zooming out. That looks like there's supposed to be a line across here. So let's make that happen. It's gonna be black, blacked out. So the black side doesn't really matter. When you're blacking stuff out, only the white side matters. All right, and there's some other parts in here that were a little confusing even when I was blacked out. One of the other things, or zoomed out, one of the things that I noticed when zooming out though, look at this. You can see that this bends. And you can see that this cylinder doesn't look right at all anymore. Look. So you lose it when you zoom in too far, eh? So let's keep it zoomed out and see if we can fix that up. Put the fill layer back down to 50. All right, now let's make this happen. Okay, so it looks like I followed the pencil line, but now we know from our own drawing that if we follow the pencil line, it won't look good. So we got to do our own. And see this? I can mess around with it, but only the white side will actually make matter once it's all blacked out. It ain't smooth, it ain't straight. There we go. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for checking this out. All right, I got the line done. Let's see if it's in the right place. I think that's in the right place. Kind of curves around. Should probably be a bit lower. Can we make it go lower? Is it doing anything? All right, I think that's good. Such a bad habit to work this far in, or with this zoomed in. All right, so let's finish this up and get out of here. All right, let's get out of here. All right, so I don't know if you notice, but I'm trying to keep it so that the maximum I'm ever zoomed in is like 44, 49. All right, so I got to fill in the detail over here. What do we do first? Do we do the bullets? Do we do the gun? Because I want to black this all out. I got to close this though, or else when it comes time to fill, there won't be anything there, or it won't fill. I use this more with vector art, but here's a good trick that you can do to finish off your lines. A situation like that, you can hook it. Because you don't know where you're going to lift the pen off. So, and if you hold it and then try to lift it up, it might do something weird. So you hook it, and then you can control where it ended. It's actually really important to do with the vector function in Fresco, because you can like trim. But if we ever do vector installation, I'll talk about that, or illustration. All right, so let's get these cylinders done. Oh, I hate doing cylinders this way. There's got to be a better way. Just got to find the angle. What if I go like this? Remember, the black side only matters when it's got white on the other side. It's got black on the other side. Only the white side matters. The interesting thing is, it's kind of obvious that they're not all the same size. I'm not a machine, you know. Just a man. All right, so if we want to fill, though, we got to close these. Remember, the black side does not matter. We'll hide it as a cast shadow. I am listening to Bon Iver tonight. It was my birthday recently. I got a Bon Iver record for my birthday. But the reason I got a Bon Iver record for my birthday is because all I listen to is Bon Iver. See, like this can be blacked out, so only the white side matters. I'm way too zoomed in to know what I'm looking at. Look at this diagonal line. What is that even doing? Is this supposed to be perspective? I have no idea. Because the straight line would go like this. Oops, too much. And then like down here, this is black, this is white. Where's it supposed to transition? And why is it supposed to transition? Why is there an angle here? So we gotta demarcate a gradient start line. All right, do I have enough closed volumes that I can use the fill yet? I've got to double up some stuff so I can do a fill. This is all fill boundary. All the way down here. Oh, this is going to be white. Oh, I'm way too zoomed in to know what I'm looking at. All right, let's see what it is that we're drawing there. Some kind of box that seems to come down like this. Most of it's going to be blacked out. All right, black, black, black. Black, black, black. Black all the way up to there. Black, 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 black. Black, and then down. This here. Then we got to close this off here. Don't have to close them off on the edges. Those should be fine. All right, shall we pull the trigger? Let's see what happens. Nope, didn't work. There's a hole in the fill somewhere. You know what? I'm going to subdivide it into smaller areas. Hopefully so I can isolate where the holes are. Oh, holes on this side of the line. So what I do is I go around the edge, I double up. Let's see if that works now. Nope. Where is the hole? Maybe right here. Yes, okay. We found it, we found the hole. All right, let's see, can we fill this side now? No, there's a hole over here too. All right, let's see if we can isolate it. Okay, we got that. Let's create a new separation. Good. Nope. We got a hole somewhere in this system. Where could it be? I'm going to break it up. Oh, there's one right there. That was it. All right. How's that look? Now, it looks like all we have left are, oh yeah, this guy that's all messed up. Let's see. Let me see. You know what? I was planning on doing a shadow line here anyways. So none of that will really matter. Still love you. All right. Still love you. Okay, so for my next task, should I do the rat-a-tata? I was actually going to fix his neck. See right here? What I noticed in the pencils was that it looks to me like there's kind of this thing going on, where it's got like, you know, like a little dip in his neck thing. That's what the pencils were saying to me. Look, let's see if we can see it. Kinda. So I'm going to try to put that in, and that will release that big black area of chin that I had right there. Now, I definitely don't like doing it by erasing. So, I like to cut. I don't like doing cuts. So instead, I'll just erase the whole thing and try it again. And this should not have a bump in it. Shouldn't have a bump in his jaw, unless I'm going to do like a big thing like that. It should be a straight line. There, that's better. All right, so let's give him a little bit of a something like that. Now this is white on both sides, so we actually have to draw it. It's an underside, so we'll give him a thick one like that. Maybe we'll go the other way. That's nice. That's pretty good. And then we would do like that. All right, so now let's fill this back in. There we go. Also, this is a bit ridiculous right there. You're not a clown, buddy. All right, so next up, I was thinking of adding some core shadows. Or are they cast shadows? Down like that on these pipes. I'm not too sure, but I figured I'd give it a try. With like a Mignola style hatch on it. I did this on the nunchucks when I was doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one. But that was a nighttime scene with a different light source. Okay, so what I'm thinking is something like that. Whoops, I got an open. Something's open. That one's open. All right, and then do a classic hatch. Now, what am I doing for my hatches? I believe I had it marked down. There it is. 10px, 90 smoothing, at minimum 5%. Minimum 5%. Can you guys see this? Minimum 5%. All right, so we'll try that. I always do it on a different hatch layer so I can erase it more easily. Okay, so why can't I see anything? How close do I need to go? Oh, that's a little sensitive. Wow. Maybe I need something smaller but stiffer. I don't know, it's not as consistent as it needs to be. Am I getting the effect that I want? I don't think so. Okay, so let's try this again. Turn down our smoothing. Increase our minimum a lot to like 80%. That'll really reduce the variation, maybe 75%. And now, let's see how thick that is. It's pretty thick. So now I gotta drop the thickness down. Let's try 5. Oh yeah, that's much better. All right, so I'll do it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Try to do it more consistently. So is anyone not familiar with triangle hatching? Honestly, it's just a way to add a really short gray midtone to the edge of a line. Now, what does it mean by a short midtone? Well, it means it rolls over quickly. Whatever surface you're hatching rolls over quickly. All right, that looks awful to me. I feel like it should be a lot bigger like this. That looks even worse. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so let's go. Let's do a little bit of Mignola. Do they fill? Does he fill the triangles? A Mignola hatch would be more like this. Probably be more consistent. Whoops. That's not too bad. Remember, we're going to be looking at it like this. You can see why people draw into the black so that their hatch lines finish more consistently. I always started from the black. We'll try it into the black on this side, see if we can get it more consistent. There we go. I think I did them at the wrong angle. Opinions? Yeah, definitely looks more consistent. Going into the, from the white into the black. You can barely even see the triangles. Maybe I just need to make my triangles bigger. I know some people also black out their triangles. Poor Punisher. Those are like the worst triangles ever. Yeah, I think we're going to go for the Mignola hatching. This is why we keep the hatching on a separate layer. All right, so we're going to point it down though. Or should we do David Finch hatching? No, I don't think we should do Finch hatching. All right, let me see now. What if I turn off pressure sensitivity completely? None. What happens then? None. All right, let's see what that looks like. You do, if you want to maintain the same gray tone throughout the whole thing though, you gotta make sure that the spacing is also the same. So you can't have wide areas. Compared to how small my lines are when I do it on paper, these are huge. Look at the difference in spacing between this area and that area. It's so much closer together. So from far away, that area will just look a little darker. This is what it looks like on Instagram. What you'll notice though is that nobody will actually look at the hatching on the logo. They're going to be looking at the face, and they're going to be looking at the gun. All right, let's do some more. I'm going to do it from this side this time, see if that makes any difference. I'm not going to be able to see behind me, so we'll see what happens. Does it look good? It's a little close. See, it all blends together. And there's no transition to the black. It just goes gray, black. It's because I've got no pressure sensitivity on. So I'm going to start close here and then widen out. I think that's probably too much. But it should cause it to recede as it goes down. I think I need to be a lot more consistent across all of them. So we'll do this one the same way that we did the last one. Are you guys glad you're watching this? Gotta be more consistent. The starting point. Now in reality, these would also be acting as contour lines. So they would be indicating the curve, but hopefully we can pretend they're not in this situation. All right, are we done? I feel like I'm really close to coloring. I have no detail on this finger right here. Let's go back to our standard inking brush, which was 15. Oops. Smoothing at 50. Minimum 35. So we got pressure sensitivity on. Pressure. There we go. All right. So what am I going to do? I got to add some finger lines. Is that what a finger is supposed to look like? No. A finger is supposed to go like this. And it comes down like that, and then it goes like that. And then we have some lines here. Some lines there. All right, maybe we'll hatch it out. Like legit hatches this time. I don't want to black it out because I'll lose all the detail. This looks like crap. I think I'd rather paint it. All right, I am not too much of a painter, but I really wanted to give it a try on this one. All right, let's see. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll do some of these too. I'm going from black to white again. So my ends are not going to be consistent, but I don't mind. Or should I do like a bullet vibe? Which would be like, let's try that again. That's more of a bullet vibe, eh? Now, if you want to know how to do a bullet vibe, I have no idea. Just kind of lean on the brush capabilities of your brush calligraphic capabilities of your brush. Now, I was actually driving on the highway one day, trying to understand why. Let me see if I can do this. Trying to understand why we had something like this to make something shiny. And what I realized was that this is the horizon, and a cylinder, I think it was actually a cylinder, because it was a tanker truck that I was driving by. So let's do a cylinder. And what this thick line through the middle is, that is like the horizon coming together and getting compressed into a thin line. And then this side was brown and this side is blue. And the reason is this is the land side and this is blue because it's the sky side. So I never knew that until I drove by a tanker on the highway. I always wondered why illustrators colored the bottom as brown and the top as blue. Anyways, that's my story for the day. All right, so let's lean on our calligraphic capabilities. It's like, why do we even see the horizon at that angle? Who knows? Looks cool. Rule of cool. There, solved it. Solved the mystery for you. Whoops, I don't want to do that. So here's our compressed horizon, and then it's expanding out from there. So these lines will not stay the same distance apart. They have to spread out as they go around the corner. There we go. Now, in terms of why I'd always start at the end really thick, it's because I copied that off Chaku comic artist, because he was doing it on the Dr. Doom piece of his that I did. All right, last one, I think. There we go. All right, now when we zoom out, they should all look good. Oh no, totally erased the hatch. Okay, now this is going to be in a shadow. It's going to be one of those ambient occlusion shadows that I love so much. Ain't no light getting out of there. Holy crap, it's late. All right. I seem to have failed at keeping my spacing consistent. Starting point consistent. All right, does that create the illusion of it rolling over? Yeah, I'd say so. Do I need to do that anywhere else? Kind of faked it over here. Oh, I gotta do these cylinders. Do you think they're shiny or do you think they're gritty? They certainly aren't very consistent. Interesting. I'm just noticing that this right here doesn't read at all against the background. So, I don't have a cut layer yet. White cuts, outlines. This is my match layer. Ink layer. And fill layer. This is why I keep my fill layer usually at 50%. Okay, so here we go, white cuts. Watch this trick. Oh, I need a smaller minimum. Drop the minimum down to like 5 maybe? I know, we'll see how it goes. See, like that. And now watch. Does that look dumb? Probably. A little too outlined. All right, well, we'll erase some of it. We can do that, you know. Whoops, too much. Too much. Too much. Now that's pure outline. You can also do highlights. Let's see if I can find an example of that somewhere. Oh, an example of a highlight would be like something like this. Oops. I don't know why they're getting bigger, but anyways. Like that. See? We're not outlining it. We're adding a highlight in a black area. All right, I think we are ready to paint. It's gonna be interesting. I haven't done this in a long time. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so. Oh, I've got to do the rat-a-tat-a thing first. I'm gonna put it on a new layer way at the back. We'll call that rat-a-tat-ta. All right, we'll do it in black. You know what would actually look good if it was its own color? I guess they call that a color hold. I'm going to do it in black to start. I'm going to significantly increase the minimum diameter in order to reduce the variability between the line. So it looks more like a micron. Is it too thick? Yeah, maybe we'll reduce it down to 10. Now, I don't know how much training you've had, but you're allowed to push straight lines. You're not allowed to push curved lines. Curved lines, you should always pull. So this, not a good idea. See that? Pushing curved line, terrible idea. Gotta pull it. Gotta find an angle where we can pull it. There we go. People will say zoom in and use your whole arm. Or you can just use the curve building function. All right, so let's see if we can do it as a single curve. It's not too bad. Whoops. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could do them all as straight lines. Just gotta hold it and it automatically turns it into a straight line. But it looks really unnatural. I don't like it. I would rather just zoom out really far. Miles, miles. Honestly, I really think that this would be done as a color hold area. You know what happens when something is a color hold? The lines don't matter. You would go back with like a chisel and you just fill in the whole shape. What letter is this? Is that supposed to be an A? Look at this. Got a little bit of a halo. Reciprocity. Does anybody shoot pool? You know how when you got a shot that's like guaranteed and you hit it a lot harder? That's what you can do when your line crosses a boundary. and you can erase whatever goes past. Just do a hard shot. For example, here. And here. And here. Guaranteed shots. Should we ink that? Whoops. That won't look very good. Oh, we got a straight shot. Booyah. Now you may ask yourself, why can't I do that where two lines join? Because you end up with stupid little things like that that look worse when you erase them. Oh, I see. We got some overlap here, huh? Look at this T. Look at that bottom of that T. It's got some attitude. You may not know this about me, but I have dabbled in the letters before. I was considering developing some my own fonts for using comic books. But I'm going to be honest with you. Font development is not enjoyable. We're very fortunate that we use the English language. Because when you start getting into other languages that have what are called diacriticals, accents, oh my goodness, does it ever become a nightmare to develop fonts. You know why I'm doing these letters? Because I'm terrified of painting. All right. What time is it? Ooh, it's kind of late. Perhaps I don't have enough time to paint. Wouldn't that be a shame? Maybe I'll do some white cuts. For example, this guy right here. Okay, here's a really good example. Should we do a cut or should we do an outline? A cut would be on this side, like that. Whoops, wrong layer. Would be on this side like this. A highlight would be here. So which one's better? Personally, I think cuts are cooler. So let me see if I can make a sweet one. I wanted to go thick to thin. So let me start really thin. And the story goes. Gotta make sure it's on the top layer. Oops. Sometimes I accidentally push the button on the top of the stylus. It messes up. All right. This would be a highlight, though, I think. I'll do some little cuts on the tricep. Hey ma, hey ma. Like that. Do a white cut over here. Just to separate, create some overlap. Should really do it in the hair. You can do a ziggy zag like this. Doesn't that look great? No. See, these triceps look good. Look at how much better those triceps look now. Then I can continue this one too. I need one here to separate this box from the leg. They look so dumb when it's gray. So let's black it out and we'll see what it looks like. So we gotta get rid of the pencil layer too. See, don't the white cuts make a lot more sense now? I can see we need one here on the forearm though. Whoa, look at the lack of definition without the painting, without the shadows. All right, so now it is time to try to paint. I am not a painter, but we shall do our best. Okay, so now my influences are the Punisher miniseries. So let me see if I can find that. It had painted covers. There we go. Like that. See that light blue? That's kind of what I'm looking for. Why is it white? It doesn't look good, very good, does it? All right, let's try that. And then what I can do is I can go like this if I want it to be more subtle. All right, so let's just paint it in. We'll see what happens. I'm sure there's some like alpha lock or something that I should be using. I don't know, this isn't something I do very often. Here's a question. Should his logo have this thing? And if anyone's wondering what program this is Fresco. Also, it's free. All right, is that it? All right, guys. It's very late. I should probably be asleep by now. Oh no. Should I do his face? It's actually probably the first time I'm using Fresco's paint functionality. It's kind of interesting. Get out of there, you. Watch out for the giant circle. Messes up your controls. Does magic. They gotta want it. Is this part of the letter? I have no idea. Oh, I didn't do that. What happened? You know what happened? It's confused. Sometimes happens when you put in too many layers. Okay, well, I'll give it another layer then. Try to find a skin tone. But I can't see their pencils. What do I do? What do I do? Perhaps you're like, how do I know where to put the shadows? Well, you're just lighting simple volumes. No, too much. All right, Marvel, hire me. And actually, there is something that I wanted to do. I want to try this. I need like an airbrush or something. Let's see if I can find one. Airbrush. Exer, painting, sketching. Let's see what this does. Oh yeah, I think I can get into that. got to be softer. Give me your softest brush you got. Bristle scrape. No. You like an airbrush. I think I broke it. Maybe they got more painting brushes in here for me to choose from. Oil, recent, watercolor, wet splatter. Let's see what that does. That does not look good. Basic watercolor. Watercolor soft wash. It's not too bad, but it's too rigid on the edge. That's not too bad. Oh, I still have the white squiggles in his hair. I don't know. I think I gotta go to Photoshop to just use an airbrush. Flat dry. Wet bristle, wet brush. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, thank you for joining me on this journey. Is there a blur? Can I blur? Oh, right. Color burn. Yeah, I don't think I can blur. What does this button do? All right, I think we've done it. We've reached the limit of what can be achieved in fresco. Oh, I want to do his face. Forgot about that. All right. Give me recent watercolor wash soft. Give me the color. That one. And we'll go like 25 layer opacity. How's that? Look at that. Should I get rid of the white in the hair? I can't even get that to come back. Can I? Can I? No, it's too small. There it is. All right, so Oh, it's Photoshop, so I can't do anything about it. Okay, so this is what we got to do. Oh, I see I missed a whole bunch of paint here. All right. Very important. What is that? There we go. All right. So now we got to sign it. Forgot how to do my own signature. There we go. Oh, I've got access to the hatching now. I should do the hatching. Smoothing at 50, pressure sensitivity to 5. Okay, good. I don't know why, but there's no cast shadow in this area. It's a little weird. Should have a cast shadow like this one. Anyways, I'm seeing now that I've been able to get it turned back on that I'm expected to shade up this area a lot more. Oh well, it's time for my bed. Oh, I forgot to do the nubs. So are they holes? I don't know. No, too much. All right. Why don't we try that? And I would like a little bit of blue just in here to cause it to recede. Like that. That's pretty good. Too much. Oh, because I did water flow at 100. All right, guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. I'm going to call this done, and I'm going to post it on... Oh, this needs a blue thing in here. Too much. Does that mean it needs a white cut there or a highlight in there too? All right. I can call that a night. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. I'm going to post this on YouTube. It's going to be long and in a bunch of different directions. All right, I'm going to duplicate this layer. And then I'm going to hide one of them. And then I'm going to erase my notes. About, oh, that's on the hatch layer, isn't it? So does that mean I got to duplicate the hatch layer too? All right. This is the line weight notes. All right, there we go. Punisher by Khoi Pham. If I can figure it out, I'll try to add some white highlights. All right. That's a pretty cool vibe, eh? All right, everyone, have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in.